94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
We are ready to go for this May 22nd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is open 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got baseball coming up tonight. The Herd getting the win in the 4-5 matchup over Louisiana. It went late. I don't know how many of you actually stayed up for that one, but we've got another one tonight. About 8:30, give or take. We'll play it by ear, as, of course, tournament games mean sometimes we get off schedule. Steve Cotton will have the call. The Herds taking on Coastal Carolina. And I was asked earlier today, can the Herd beat Coastal Carolina? And I hope that was my response. I mean, you can't beat a team 4 times, right? Marshall's got this. Now, this is an important game. The good news is for Marshall, right now it's in the winner's bracket. If Marshall loses, it will play on Friday to have the right to play on Saturday. If Marshall wins tonight, Marshall's playing on Saturday. So you can suffer a loss, win on Friday, get to Saturday, or you can win on tonight's game, go to Saturday. We like the easy line. Let's go and just win this one tonight and get to Saturday. That would be what we're all hoping for. But so far, it's been a great joyride for the Thundering Herd. I mean, this has been a fun ride. We're going to hear from Coach in a few minutes. We've got his comments from his presser earlier in the morning. We'll also hear from Nolan Wilson and Jackson Halter, part of the presser as well. So I'm sure a lot of you maybe didn't get his comments, as again, this game went over midnight. For those of you who stayed up, congratulations, good job. Let's hope we can get you to bed sooner tonight. So we'll hear that in a few minutes. Until then, we'll get your text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And then I want to get into with you, we've got some new rule changes here. Not really rule changes, just a different way of seeding the college football playoff. So we'll get into that with you. That's changed. So now you don't get the automatic bye. You don't get an automatic. Now, if you win your conference championship, you get in. You're automatic qualifier, but you don't get one of the top 4 seeds and that first round bye. You could be a conference champion and maybe be ranked 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. There's a possibility that you might drop a few spots depending on where the committee ranks you. So we'll talk about that as well. And, of course, we'll get what you want to talk about. That's coming up with our text line. And, again, that's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So the Herd gets the win last night against Louisiana, wins the game 9-5, and Marshall went into the 5th with a 5-0 lead. Marshall took a 5-0 lead at the bottom of the 3rd, scoreless in the 4th, scoreless in the 5th, so we're feeling good. And then Louisiana scores 2 in the 6th. Marshall matches those 2. And then Marshall would score 2 in the 7th. Louisiana would score 3 in the 8th to make it interesting. And then, of course, Louisiana batting at the top. Couldn't score in the 9th, so we didn't have to finish out the game. Marshall wins 9 runs, 13 hits, 5 errors, though. Thankfully, that didn't ultimately doom the Thundering Herd. So you got to clean that up. Other than that, Marshall, I think, is ready to go out against Coastal Carolina. You got 5 innings plus out of Bryce Blevins. You've got over 3 innings out of Charlie Krebs, and then Thundering Herd cruising to the victory, not having to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Look good. Overall, I mean, it was late night for all of us, so let's hope, again, that we don't have another late night. That's the only thing, because you got to be younger to watch these games, right? How many of you actually stayed up for it? Go ahead, be honest with me. If you fell asleep, that's fine. You had maybe your radio on, you were listening to Steve call the game, and then you fell asleep. That's fine. It happens to the best of us. So we'll hear from Coach Beals in just a few minutes. I want to do that with you, and then I want to get to the text line, get your thoughts on the game last night, and then where we're at for tonight. and we will get those texts brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we'll hear from Coach when we continue, and then we'll open things up for you, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's happening with the college football playoff, how it impacts Marshall. That when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a car wreck? Tom Boggs is here for you in Huntington, and he's brought the expertise of Warner Law Offices with him.
Call 345-6789.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Tri-State Chapter 949 Vietnam Veterans of America and other organizations are planning the 14th Annual Military and Veterans Appreciation Picnic for all military veterans and their guests in the Tri-State. The event taking place on May 31st at Harris River Park in Huntington from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Secure Construction Company. Roofing, windows, siding, doors, kitchens, and more. Visit secureconstruction.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Your bow tie guy, Mike Gingle here, inviting you to celebrate the red, white, and new here at Cardinal Chevrolet. Memorial Day deals on new Colorados now up to $4,500 off MSRP. New tracks over $2,600 off MSRP. There's even 0.9% financing for 60 months and above market trade values. New ownership, better process, and better deals. Better deals. Visit our gorgeous facility right off I-64 in Hurricane or at CardinalChevy.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for details.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
160,000 kids stay home from school every day for the same reason. Bullying. This is Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association. Bullying impacts nearly 1/3 of all students every year, but parents, educators, and concerned adults can make a difference. It takes just one caring adult to intervene and help stop the bullying. Victims need an adult that will listen, will stand up for them, and most importantly, show them that they are not alone. Bullying and cyberbullying have far-reaching effects, from a decline in academic performance to physical illness, depression, or worse. Help us create a safe, bully-free learning environment for all students in West Virginia. One caring adult can make all the difference. Take the pledge to be that adult at NEA.org/bullyfree.
Message from the West Virginia Education Association.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Thursday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're all settled in, getting set for baseball action tonight. The Herd taking on Coastal Carolina, still in the winner's bracket. This is not an elimination game. Only be eliminated if you lose 2. So Marshall hoping to get the Saturday unscathed. Big opportunity tonight taking on Coastal Carolina. But last night the Herd getting it done against Louisiana 9-5. Thundering Herd. This is a team that a lot of people didn't pick in the top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8. And here they are. Another opportunity to get closer to its first ever Sun Belt Conference baseball championship. Last night, late after the game, Greg Beals spoke with the media on hand at the tournament. Also in attendance, Nolan Wilson, Marshall's catcher, and Jackson Halter, the right fielder. So let's hear what Coach Beals had to say after the victory.
It's a good win for us, to start the tournament off in the right way. And we've been playing good baseball here down the stretch, and we continue to do so tonight. I really liked our approach offensively and how we were able to get hits when we needed them and get innings started. And contribution up and down the lineup, we got it tonight. So on the mound, I thought we got gritty performances. Bryce Blevins gets us into the 6th inning, and Charlie Krebs with a gritty performance out of the bullpen as well. Our defense got a little bit loose there behind him in the 8th inning, but we were able to hold it together and get the double play to finish that 8th inning. And then we went to Nick Wyrick there at the end for that last out. Didn't want it to get any deeper when you have that bullet in your bullpen. I didn't want the game to get any further down the line before we went to him and closed it out.
All right, Coach. So I guess we'll just open it up with you. Talk a little bit about your offense. 13 hits. You guys are really having good at bats too, and then players can answer that as well. What was the approach going into today?
Well, we have really shored up our approach offensively, here in the last month, and there's a confidence level that has fed that as well. So between shoring up that approach and making sure we're on our pitches and not trying to do too much, just being really good hitters, and some power is going to show up if you're just a really good hitter and you're on the pitch you want to be on. Our 2-strike approach has been really solid as well. So let the guys kind of feed off of that.
Yeah, as far as approach goes, just hunting our pitch and really zeroing in on that and not leaving any other variables other than trying to hit the pitch that we know we can crush and just hunting that.
Everybody believes in everybody, and no one's really selfish on this team. I think that's why we hit good when we need to hit good.
And Coach, just kind of following up, and then both for the players. It looked like the ball was jumping off the bat at times. How are you guys going to carry that over into the night game tomorrow?
Well, we came here with a mission to win this tournament, and if you're going to win it, you're going to have to go through Coastal Carolina at some point, especially on our side of the bracket. And so we're going to get them tomorrow night, and we'll be ready to answer the bell. They're a very, very good baseball team, and we're a really good team, and it'll be a fun battle tomorrow night.
And then for both of you guys, what do you guys think about the challenge?
I think it just comes down to playing to our strengths and remembering who we are and not trying to do too much. That's it.
Yeah, just going out there, playing as a family, playing with your heart out, going out there and competing.
And then Jackson, you specifically had a 3-hit day. Coach, you had 4 guys with multi-hits. Is hitting truly contagious, like they say?
Yeah, it definitely helps when the dugout's buzzing around a little bit and everybody else is hitting, you want to get ahead as well. Yeah, I think it does carry over.
And Coach, any addition to that?
It's clearly contagious, it does, and especially when you get things to start an inning and you feel like your at-bats are even more valuable. It's a lesson we've learned throughout this year is how valuable each opportunity is in a ball game, whether it be the first inning, the 4th inning, the 7th inning, or the 9th inning. All those opportunities are opportunities for us to score runs, and we really fight hard to get that leadoff guy on base, and then we're able to do some things. We safety squeeze tonight. We stole some bases. We put ourselves in situations to help our offense as well, and we're going to continue to do that.
And then Coach, got a question from Zoom here from Tyler Kennett, the Herald Dispatch. How does the leadoff homer impact the ability for this team to get even hotter than it has been now with 9 in the last 7 games?
Well, we talked about answering the bell. On a day like today, you're supposed to play at 7:30. Game gets off at 8:55, and we sat in the hotel for a long time, and we sat at the ballpark, and we just talked as a team, as a family, that we'd be ready to answer the bell, and I'll certainly answer the bell with the leadoff home run.
And then to Jackson, this one from Kevin Foote down in Louisiana. What did it feel like playing against your former team out there?
I mean, it was definitely weird seeing some of my former teammates on the other side of the dugout. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was just another ball game, and I've got my brothers on this side, and that's who I was playing for.
Comments early this morning from the head coach Greg Beals, also Nolan Wilson and Jackson Halter. So the Thundering Herd advancing, got to take on Coastal Carolina eventually. Might as well do it now. That's coming up tonight. Now, there might be a delay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news yet again, but Game 3 of the day is beginning about 40 minutes late. So Marshall and Coastal set for 8:30 our time. But with that said, if that's the hold, got to go quick. So we're going to anticipate 8:30-ish. Whenever the game starts, we'll have it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Quickest way to get updates. If you're not already, follow at Herd Cotton on X. He's the man on the ground, and he'll have the direct information for us. And coming up tonight on our pregame, we'll hear updated comments from the head coach, Greg Beals, with the voice of the Herd, Steve Cotton, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So, are you surprised the Herd's got to this point? And I'm going to say no, I'm not. After the last few weeks, Marshall has been on a run. Marshall's in a spot now where it could get to Saturday and possibly make it to Sunday and play for a conference championship. Wouldn't that be amazing? Year 2 of the brand new baseball stadium. Now, the stadium's not the reason why you win, but it helps you. Marshall wins a Sun Belt Conference baseball championship, finishing 4th in the regular season, then winning the championship. That's going to be a nice feather in the cap for Greg Beals. Again, for everyone that doubted what he was bringing to the table as the head coach. And let's be honest with ourselves. There were some of you that maybe questioned the hire or doubted where Marshall baseball would end up. This is the best Marshall's been in a long time. This has been tremendous. This has been fun to watch. The Herd's gotten even better. Marshall now has a facility to recruit to, and that's important, but it matters because you're on par with every other team now in the Sun Belt. This isn't going to win you those battles, but it's not going to lose you those battles either. You're not going to have recruits look at Marshall and go, it's a no-go. It's not a starter here. There's nothing here. Now you have a facility where you can just look at it and go, okay, they care about baseball. And then it's up to Marshall's coaching staff and everyone else to kind of explain why it's different at Marshall, why Marshall's the better opportunity. This just shows that if you have a proper place to play baseball, you can bring kids in and they'll want to play, and you start winning, that's going to attract more kids. I mean, look at soccer. Facility helped. All of a sudden, you don't lose battles, you win battles. But more importantly, you don't lose battles. You can actually go in there and you can be a difference maker because you have the facility. Now you have to go in there and you have to show these kids what it means to go to Marshall, what you would expect, what the expectations are, what the fan base is about. I mean, a very passionate fan base. Not the biggest fan base in college athletics, but a very passionate one. And let's be honest, it's sometimes a very pleasant, dysfunctional family. I'm going to hold to that. Marshall fans, collectively, just one big, you love each other, but there's some dysfunction there, just a little bit. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to say go Herd and root their Herd on. So we'll get the text line going here in just a minute, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line to be a part of today's show. We're going to talk college football playoff when we continue. There's a little shakeup to how the teams will be seeded. All that's coming up and more when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
It's the Grand Slam sales event at Ironton Automotive, and you're up to bat. Drive one out of here with unbeatable deals on winning lineups of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Slide into a new ride today with easy financing, top dollar trade-ins, and home run savings that'll have you rounding the bases in style. Don't wait, these offers won't last forever. Visit 2125 South 3rd Street in Ironton, Ohio, or online anytime at irontonautomotive.com and score big before this event heads for the fences.
Get ready to hit the road with Gomart. Each month we're featuring a special item to fuel your journey and score you bonus reward points in our Road to Rewards promotion. Each purchase earns you a token, so load up and keep cruising toward big rewards. Plus, the top 25 token earners each month will receive 5,000 additional bonus reward points. Check the Gomart app to see this month's featured item. And as always, earn additional savings on products store-wide with reward member exclusives. Go to Gomart.com for more details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-857-4433. That's 800-857-4433. Again, 800-857-4433.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
As a prospective college student, one way you can save money on higher education is to earn college credit while you're still in high school. You can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by taking dual credit courses, which let you earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Want to learn more about dual credit courses? Visit the website of the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority at KHEAA.com. That's KHEAA.com.
Listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So changes are coming to the college football playoff. That doesn't directly impact Marshall, but it does impact a lot of the power schools, or at least the conferences, because this fall it's going to go right to a straight seeding model. If you are one of the top 4 teams in the selection committee's rankings, then you're going to get one of the top 4 seeds, and you're also going to get a first-round bye. So that means if you, by chance, have 3 teams from the SEC that, according to the committee, are 1, 2, and 3, the conference champion's automatic qualifier, but by ranking, the number 2 team and the number 3 team would also get first-round byes because they would be seeded 2 and 3. Now, if you're a conference champion, you're not guaranteed a first-round bye. You're not guaranteed a top 4 spot. Now, the top 4 seeds will be based solely on ranking. So if you're the conference champion of the Big 12, but you fall outside of the top 4 seeds, then you're going to be playing the first round. If you are a group of 5 champion and you are among the highest seeds, you are going to be seeded accordingly. So, and let's be honest, the way the rankings are going to come out, if you are the group of 5 champion with the highest ranking, you're going to probably be outside of the top 12. I just don't see a team like Boise, Marshall, use Marshall as an example. I don't see Marshall coming in their rankings as number 10. Number 9. I don't see that happening. So you're probably looking at a school like Marshall. If Marshall's the highest ranked conference champion, Marshall's going to probably be the 12 seed. That's just how it is. And hopefully Marshall will have enough players where we can go to the college football championship. I don't think we have this problem if Marshall was in the playoff. The one we had just a few months ago, I don't think we have this problem. And I don't think we're going to have this problem here in the future, to be quite candid with you. But that's another topic for another day. So this is what it's going to shake out to. And again, here's this as well. Notre Dame. Notre Dame now, if Notre Dame finishes in the top 4, Notre Dame will get a top 4 seed. Because this past season, the 4 highest ranked conference champions got the top 4 seeds. And that didn't matter for ranking at all. It's just you could be 8th seeded and you could be the 4th seed, and that means you get a first-round bye. Now, all 4 teams that earned a first-round bye in the college football playoff, the inaugural one, by the way, lost their first game. So the 5 highest-ranked conference champions guaranteed a spot. There's value to that, and so no worries there. But from a competitive standpoint, is that the best model to reward? This isn't like the NFL. Now, if this was the NFL, I'm arguing against that system because I think that the buys in the NFL, and there's only one of them, that means something. So if you're the overall, and really, here's how it works down. If you're in the NFL, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you got the best record, you get the first round bye. And then the division winners are seeded, and then the rest of the teams are seeded. It works because there's so much parity in the NFL, and I'm totally for that system. Now, this, in a sense, rewards a conference champion. You're a conference champion, so you get in the tournament. You get in the playoff. But you're not necessarily going to get a first-round bye because of the fact that you might not be one of the top 4 teams. Say West Virginia wins the Big 12. And congratulations, Mountaineers. You won a conference championship in the Big 12. You might not get to enjoy a first-round bye. But on the flip side, might be interesting because then get to host a game. That might be interesting. So there could be a semi-reward here because you could host a game. No one's talked about that. If Boise State gets a home game, that could have been fun. And that would have felt a little bit more like college football for me. Now, I understand you got to keep the bowls intact. You have the major ones, the big ones. Those are the ones I care about. And I don't care about the bowls that much, but I care about the big ones because there's some history, there's some tradition, there is some continuity there. The whatever you want to call it, thingamabob bowl that ESPN has renamed 54 times, I don't care about that. But Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, I care about the big bowls, the traditional ones, the granddaddy of them all. I care about those games, those venues. Everything else, I don't care about. And honestly, here's what I would like to see, and this is probably not going to fly with some of you, but that's fine. This is my world right now. 16 teams, 16-team playoff, and forget the bowls. Let's go. You want the 16 best teams. And you make sure that this might not fly, but okay, if you are one of the top 4 conference champions, we'll go top 5. Top 5. You have to seed it at this point. I don't think wouldn't have buys at all, but I want to guarantee that you get in. So if you're Marshall and you're in your Sun Belt, unless you're the highest ranked group of 5 champion right now, you might not get in. I would like to see that open up a little bit more. Maybe 16 will do that, or you're going to have conferences say, no, we're going to be a little greedy here. Because you saw there was some pushback where the Big Ten wanted 4 spots, the SEC wanted 4 spots, and then that would leave a few more spots less than. So that's 8 spots right now. So there's 8 more spots to go. So you give 2 to the ACC, you give 2 to the Big 12. These are guaranteed spots. Get 2 to go. Notre Dame gets one of those, obviously, if in the top 16, right now top 12. I would like to see a system where maybe 2 teams from the group of 5 can get guaranteed spots. If you're the highest ranked 2 champions, I mean, that's going to leave someone out. Conference USA kind of gamed the system with that 1 year liberty, and I thought that was atrocious. But if you're an American team, you're a Sun Belt team, you are let's throw Conference USA team. If you're Conference USA, you got a shot here. It's not going to pan out that way, but I'd like to see 16 teams expanded as well. I mean, do you want to do 24? 16 seems to be a good number. 24, that would be my max limit on this, but I would do the playoff, and I wouldn't worry about the bowls anymore because they're not everything that you make them out to be. If you're playing for a national championship, that's one thing. That's a big motivator to keep teams together. If Marshall was playing for a national championship, you're in the tournament. You're playing for a national championship. You keep the team together a little bit more, right? Coach Huff stays a little longer, right? Players don't hit the transfer portal, right? I don't know if that would have saved the day, but it's a bowl game, so it's easy to, and you have players opt out as well. Players are going to opt out for bowl games. They want to protect themselves if they're ready to go, or at least they're ready to make a change, either transfer portal or NFL. That's 2 of the primary reasons. You're going to be going somewhere else, and you're going to take advantage of what's out there for you. So you're going to make that jump, and you're going to leave your team not playing the bowl, or you're going to sit out because you're going to go for the NFL. You don't want to risk injury, and you want to take care of yourself and potential future. If you're leaving for the NFL, you know that the bowl game is probably going to be your last game anyway, or you could have limited touches. Now, flip that script a little bit. If you're playing for a national championship, maybe you got a guy that goes, well, this is a pretty big deal here. I'd like to win a national championship. I'd like to have a shot. Maybe we could do it. Maybe we could pull it off. That would be something. And so you might get to keep your team together a little longer, and it would be for a meaningful prize. A national championship trumps the Thingamabob Bowl any day of the week. Absolutely. If you are a team that made the NCAA tournament, you're a tournament team. That in itself is a prize. I'm a tournament team. Not everybody made it. We made it. We're a tournament team. And then you win. Hey, we made it to the round of 32. And if you win again, hey, you know what? We're a Sweet 16 team. We made it to the Elite 8. I mean, those are banners. You put those banners up, and those mean a little bit more. You can put your bowl champion. Now, don't get me wrong. Every bowl that Marshall has won, I've been happy. That's a bowl championship, as certain coaches called it. You won something, and you should be proud of that. You should be happy, and you should celebrate that. I'm not disparaging it, but in today's college football landscape, in this day and age, how much does the bowl game really mean? And for me, I think it's more important to get to a point where you're playing for a true national championship, and I think you got to have at least legitimately 16 teams. Maybe you go 24. It seems to work at FCS, so why can't it work at the FBS level? Play for a national championship. And I don't want to play for a group of 5 championship. So that's pretty much admitting that, okay, we're playing at lower division now here. No, I want to see a true national championship format. And those games mean more to me than your casual Tuesday night bowl game in front of nobody. You get a TV audience because it's football, obviously, but it's in front of nobody. You get some tourism dollars out of it. Great. How many people are really coming? And the matchups, you're trying to get the best matchups you can based on which teams are available. And okay, will they travel? Will we be able to attract people to the game? Well, it's on a Tuesday night. Not too many people can make that trip. some people, of course, plan ahead because this is what they live for. And so if you can do that, this is perfect for you. But I would rather see a playoff system, and I would hope that it would work out where Marshall could aspire to be one of those 16 teams. And if not, maybe the system needs adjusted a little bit more to make sure that unless we're doing the splinter thing, all the major college football conferences, mid-major included, if you want to call them that, whatever, G5, Group of 5, autonomy, everybody gets at least a clear path to playing for a championship. From our text line, texter says, Paul, the transfer portal effect takes away from the traditional bowl experience. Right on. Thank you. That hits it right there. Well said. It's not a traditional bowl experience anymore because who's left? All right. Do we have enough players that can play? Who's playing? Well, this isn't our team. The Sun Belt champs were not going to make it to the bowl game. The team that would have been fielded if Marshall could have put a team together, that was not the true Sun Belt champs. And it was embarrassing, and it absolutely fell apart. And I do not shy away from assigning blame to several parties in that athletic department. You know who they are. And I do assign blame to those parties. I'm looking at the coaching staff, which turned on Marshall University. I'm looking at the athletic department leadership, which failed Marshall University. And so for that particular item, and I'm not trying to take away from all the successes over the last few years, but for that particular item, that soured me more on bowls than anything because of the fact that the traditional bowl experience died that day. It means nothing now because players are hitting the transfer portal. And I really think that if everything could have been worked out ahead of time, you could have had some sort of understanding like, look, we'd like you to stay. If you're going to go, that's fine, but we'd like to at least get to the bowl game, or I would work it out. So, hey, we understand we've got a parting of the ways here, but let's leave on good terms. Let's get these kids to the bowl. Let's get these kids that experience, and let's all leave on a high note, possibly a bowl champion. And then we walk away. We walk away friends. That sounds simple to me. Maybe it's not, and maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. Something could have been worked out to get to that bowl game. But now, that just showed me the bowl game was not as meaningful, or it's not as meaningful. But once upon a time, it was super meaningful. When Marshall went to the Motor City Bowl, I went to the bowl. And then I started souring on the bowl games. Yeah, the experience just wasn't the same after a while. But I went to that first bowl game. The first bowl game Marshall had been in since the Tangerine Bowl. And I was excited for that. And seeing Marshall go to the Motor City Bowl. And then Marshall got to go to different bowls. And, oh, hey, yeah, wow. All right, this is, we had some tremendous games. And it just started to fall apart for me. And then seeing how the transfer portal has decimated college athletics, and then the whole football debacle with the, however you want to say it, however the ultimate outcome landed because of this party or that party. But you look at the top guys, and there's blame to share. Everybody's at fault at that one. There's no escaping that one. Absolutely not. And I'm not going to hate on Coach Huff. I'll rib the guy now and then, but because he ribbed me as well. But he brought you a championship. And so we saw that debate yesterday about, hey, and this was on social, hey, championship rings look really sharp. And I thought, oh, those are pretty cool. And there were some people that were saying to me off air and, on the text line, the players that left, that went to Southern Miss or left the Herd, they don't deserve that. They don't get one. Absolutely, they deserve that bowl ring. Those kids were a part of that championship team. They earned that championship. The Marshall fans are going to celebrate it. Let those kids celebrate their accomplishment. Unfortunately, they left. They're gone now, but they were here and brought a championship. So I hope somebody makes sure that Coach Huff has that championship ring. Too bad Marshall's not playing Southern Miss this year. Could award the ring during the game. Coach Huff, thank you. Absolutely, those kids should get those rings. And you can't convince me otherwise. I'm not that petty. I would hope you are not as well. And I think it's a small vocal minority, honestly, that are saying that. And I hope that's not the majority of fans. Those kids deserve those championship rings. And they look sharp. I'm going to give the Herd, whoever was in charge of that project, those rings look sharp. Quick time out. We're going to hit the final break on this edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Spring is here. Clear that pollen and debris with Thoroughbred Express Wash. New members, your first month of unlimited washes is just $10. Any package, anytime. Want the best? Try the Secretariat Wash. Now with Graphene X, advanced technology that protects your car like high-tech armor. Fewer washes, better shine, and long-term paint protection. Plus, enjoy complimentary amenities every time you visit. Join the winner's circle with Thoroughbred Express. Get started at thoroughbredexpress.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Tackle those lawn patch and repair jobs with help from Menards. Scott's Easy Seed Patch and Repair Mix is a blend of mulch, seed, and fertilizer, making it perfect for sunny or shady areas. Save big money on Scott's Easy Seed Patch and Repair Mix now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care Home Finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Mike Engel here, West Virginia's premier Ford Bowtie guy, combining Memorial Day deals with employee pricing to save you more. We're talking up to $5,000 off on Bronco Sports and Broncos, or up to $4,500 off on the Ford Maverick or Ranger. We pay the highest trade values regardless of mileage or condition. New ownership, improved experience, and better deals. Better deal. Better deal. Visit us at University Ford in Huntington or online at universityfordwv.com. See dealer for details.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? Can you even believe that? I mean, people need marrow, you guys, and we have it. So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek, this cheek. Then go to Gift of Life Marrow Registry. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And in case you're wondering, if you're a match, donating, it's a lot easier than you think. So wherever you are, go ahead and swab that cheek. Go to giftoflife.org and get a free kit sent to your home, or find a donor drive in your area so that you can swab a cheek and save a life. It's only a minute of your time, but it can give someone else the rest of their life.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
You can also follow the podcast. It's free. You can download it, listen to it on your time. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate everyone who listens. Whenever you listen, wherever you listen, right here on the stream or ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, or just your phone. We make it easy for you. We've got the game for you tonight, by the way. Speaking of streaming, Marshall taking on Coastal Carolina. There's several ways to listen to the game. You can listen to it if you're in Huntington. You've got your radio locked in. You know how to do that. You can listen to the game. It's all good. Or somebody wants to listen to it that's not from here. Tell them they can go to our website, WRVC.com. You can get the app. We've got the links there. It'll take you to the App Store, so you don't have to look for it. And it's available on your Android or your iOS device. You can also listen to the radio station there. We've got an Alexa skill that you enable that. Then you can tell your Amazon Echo device to play the radio station, and you can listen to it on your smart speaker. There's several ways you can listen to the game tonight. And hopefully Marshall wins tonight and plays on Saturday. If not, Marshall will play tomorrow afternoon. And I'm sure that's going to be pushed back. So not sure, based off of what we have now as information, what our game plan is until Marshall wins or loses. And so I might be with you late tomorrow. I might be with you on time tomorrow. Marshall might not play tomorrow. Marshall might be playing tomorrow. Whatever the case may be, we're going to have the game tonight, maybe tomorrow, definitely Saturday on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I say definitely Saturday because the Herd's not going to lose. Marshall's getting to Saturday. We're just going to speak that into existence. We're going to manifest that. So with Marshall baseball tonight, that said, Pirates baseball not on the air tonight. So if you're a Pirates fan, we do apologize for that, since that will conflict with Marshall baseball. And of course, I think for the most part, most Pirates fans around here are Marshall baseball fans as well. So we should all be good. Hopefully the Pirates can continue winning, and let's hope that the Herd continues winning as well. Don't forget, tomorrow, baseball in the afternoon or the show, and maybe both if we get lucky. Marshall could be on time and play a quick game, and then we'll get on the air. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll have all the reaction tomorrow if we do get on the air from Coach Beals, and I'm looking forward to our broadcast tonight. So I think last check on that, we were looking at, and again, 8:30 is what we're telling you, but since there was a delay in between games, the latest update we got, and I'm trying to make sure there hasn't been anything else posted since, we're looking at possibly 40 minutes delay. So the Herd and Coastal Carolina scheduled for 8:30. So if we can get on the air in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be good. If not, we're going to go a little later. Hopefully, we don't have a 9:45 airtime like we did last night. So everyone has stayed up late. Appreciate you doing that. Hopefully, we can get this game off and running a little bit sooner than what we had last night. Until then, we are almost out of time. So don't forget, you can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. Also, you can find me through that profile. We've got other social media networks that I'm on, so you can find them all. Just head to my X profile, at Paul Swann. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you hopefully tomorrow. That means Marshall's not playing tomorrow. That's the good news. If I'm with you tomorrow, Marshall's probably not playing. And I hope I'm with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.